Hey folks, welcome back to the cabin. I just got up here and I'm kind of excited to try out a new product by Wosports. Let's take a quick walk and I'll show you what happened last year. Last year when I got up to the cabin in the spring, sorry, I just fell through the snow. On this rail that goes along the cabin, the porch here, there were greasy paw prints that walked the whole rail. And right away, as soon as I walked up and I saw those greasy prints, I knew what we were in for. It was a bear. And I went around and checked outside the cabin. I didn't want to go in the cabin until I made an inspection. And I saw greasy paw prints on the front door, on the front window, a nose print smushed in there, and the same on the back door. And then as I walked around to the side of the cabin, I noticed the screen was pulled off. And if you look right here, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there are 5 little claw marks in there. And that was a cub. And that cub jumped all the way, it was about 4 feet, vertical jump. He jumped all the way up, grabbed the screen, and tried pulling the screen off and tried to get in the cabin that way. So, long story short, Wosports knew that I was having issues, and they said, hey, why don't we throw you a trail camera and let you set this trail camera up and tell us what you think. It's very affordable. They didn't stick a whole lot of money into packaging. The packaging is very simple, very basic, but that's okay. I don't need to be impressed with packaging. That gets thrown out right away, but the camera's the main focus. So let's go ahead and we'll head out into the woods and set this camera up, and we'll see how good it is. We'll see if it really is everything that they say it is. That's a pretty dang good wolf's track. They're walking right on top of the snow here, so you can't pick them up very often, but I was wondering why all the deer just disappeared. And there it is. That's our answer. All right, folks, this is a trail that the deer usually come walking through on a quite regular basis. And I also get a lot of other animals that walk through here and some human beings. So let's hang up this camera and we'll see how the cameras work, how the camera works, if it has a good clear picture. And then we'll also see how quick the trigger speed is and see if it's any decent, if it compares to any of the other trail cameras I have. All right. Okay, camera's on. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the cabin. This week I am going to do my annual checking of the land and preparing for the black bear waking up out of hibernation. Yesterday the wife and I saw one, and that kind of reminded me that I should probably go through the property real quick and do a check. This is one of the shelters that we have, as I use it for deer hunting, but we also do have a wood burning stove inside of it, and we use it as a backup shelter in case if the cabin, heaven forbid, was ever to start on fire and we're stuck up here and we have a lot of snow. At least we have a backup shelter where we can go and we won't freeze to death. So we're going to walk around and we're going to check a couple of these out and make sure that everything is prepared for the bear. Last spring I went ahead and these 2 posts, for whatever reason, we had a big boar would come up and he'd start chewing on these legs, and I was afraid of the damage that it might do, that he could possibly knock that stand over. So I went ahead and I put those pieces of steel around the legs, and I can see they're all scratched up already, and they do have mud on them. So I know he came back this spring and he's been looking, so I hope I'm not too late. So yeah, let's go over to the other shelter or tree stand, and we'll see how that looks too. And yeah, we'll get it all prepared. And stay tuned in this video. I'm going to show you some of the cameras that I use, and I have a new camera that I'm kind of testing out. I'm not going to be trying to really force this down your throats, but I'm pretty impressed with it. I'll leave a link to it at the end of the video. And if you're interested in a pretty affordable, economical trail camera, feel free to check this out. I think you'll like the camera. Here's another one of my tree stands, and you can see, you know, I'm dang near 6 foot tall, and this is all newer stuff. You can see that's a bigger bear. I'll show you where he actually ripped the wood off. You know, this is all new this year. So that's a pretty darn good sized bear. I mean, that's above my head. So last year I really didn't get many bear on film, because we came up with a plan. I worked with some local bear hunters and showed them the signs that I have on my stands, and they were more than happy to bring their dogs in here and practice with their dogs. They didn't hunt here, but they bring their dogs in, and when they pick up a scent trail, they teach young dogs how to pick up the scent and how to condition them and keep them in strength. The same group of guys also help out the DNR. If there's a problem bear that's been coming into somebody's cabin or neighborhood, they will oftentimes donate their time to go ahead, get the bear, tranquilize it, and relocate it to an area that's not as populated. So let's go grab the trail camera, and we'll see what pictures came in on the new trail camera, and we'll see how clear they are. Okay, folks, so if there's one thing that I'm not a stranger to, it's trail cameras. I've had trail cameras back from when they were first used with your camera, and you had to put a camera inside, and then it would actually, you'd have to go develop film. And I've evolved with it. Back when we used to have these huge, remember these ones? And then slowly they started to get a little bit smaller in size and started getting a little bit better clarity to the pictures. And then they became more compact and started to get video capabilities. And then now with this Wosports camera, I gotta tell you, some of the innovations are pretty good on it, but this experience hasn't been all good to me. So stay tuned with this and I'll explain why. The camera itself, I've been very happy with. The camera has a LED, it has a screen down here on the bottom so that if you want to check it out in the field to see what pictures you have on your SD card and you don't have a viewer with you, I love that option. None of the other cameras that I have here have that option. It has side detection where when the animals come walking in from the side so that you don't miss a picture of the animal, this helps so that you get a more accurate picture of it and you can actually see what goes past the camera. On some of my other cameras, I haven't been so lucky. I get a lot of blank screens. These are all really good features. If you notice during the video clips that we had, the audio is incredible. For a budget trail camera like this, I was very impressed with it. I'm going to stick with the main features. It has several more features in here. When you do set it up, you can set it up with your own password so that if somebody tries to steal it, they're not going to be able to enable the camera and use it. So I love that feature. And it also has features where it will show you the time, the temperature, the date, a whole bunch of things. And I think it even gives you like a moon phase and everything. So it's really good. It's way ahead of its time. The clarity has been just out of this world. Not only can you shoot video like you saw in the video that I've made here, where you can pick the length of time that you want the video to roll, or if you want to save space on your SD card, you can go ahead and just use still photos. And not only does the camera come as you see it, but it also comes with a mounting bracket. And the mounting bracket you can permanently affix to a tree or a pole, and then the camera just clips to it. It does come with a strap that goes around the back. I prefer to mount mine my own way. I like them to look as small and compact as possible, so if somebody's passing by the camera, they don't see it, and hopefully they just leave it there. I've caught game wardens on my camera. I've caught trespassers on my camera, all sorts of people, and I was pretty impressed with this. Now for the ugly, and this really isn't on Wosports. It was kind of on the marketing department. This isn't the actual camera that I was sent. The actual camera that I was sent out was damaged during shipping. And when it was damaged, what happened is somebody crushed the face of the box and it pressed against these sensors, and the camera went crooked in the door and it messed with the hinges, and I couldn't get this shut. When I told the marketing department that I had a damaged camera, and it wasn't their fault, it was the shipping company, I said, I have a damaged camera, can you please send me a new camera? They sent me a video clip showing me how to close it and how to lock it. And I replied to them, no, it's the hinge that's broken. I don't want to put this camera in video with it being broken. And their response was, well, just put it in the video without the door. And so I went ahead and put the camera out in the woods without the door. And as you could imagine, without things being sealed properly, water got inside and damaged the camera. So the marketing department, in my book, they really failed. I was shocked that they wanted me to do a video with a broken camera. They're not very expensive. I had a buddy who coincidentally had them. Other YouTubers that I know have done videos on this. Craig over at Squirrely Acres did a video on it, and a couple other buddies. And so I was able to be loaned this camera so that I could make the video. So that would be the ugly, the bad part. And it wasn't necessarily on the company here, but it was more on the marketing department and then the people that shipped it out to me. Other than that, I am extremely impressed with it. The quality of the pictures and the videos, like I said before, are real good. So you determine, is it worth the risk? Price-wise, this is a good introductory level camera. It's not going to be a cheap piece of garbage like Wild Game Innovations where you can pick those up all day for $35 or $40. This is going to be a lot better quality than a camera like that. It's going to compete with your Cuttybacks or your Moultries. And the price-wise, I'm going to leave a link with the product description and a place where you can purchase it if you're interested. If you're not, that's fine too. I'm not getting anything out of this other than a free broken camera. This does not have like Wi-Fi abilities on it. You know, that type of camera, obviously you're going to be paying into the hundreds. You know, you're going to be paying, you know, $150, $250, $300 for a camera like that. But if you have time on your hands where you can go ahead, set this out in the woods, and then come back a couple days later and check it out, it's going to be the camera that you're looking for. It does a great job. So, all right. Hope that you enjoyed this video. Back at the cabin, things are going pretty good. The wolves moved in. If you've seen in the clip, I had the wolves come through a couple times now, and that kind of shut off all the wildlife at the cabin. But you know, those will pass through, and hopefully they pass through quickly and leave some deer for us, because it's always nice to have some beautiful nature to put in the video. And if you're wondering, that little furry critter that I caught bounding through the snow down the road, that was a fisher, and those are really cool. They're very vicious. What else did I have in there? I had a huge herd of deer came through as they were yarding up, so it was kind of cool things that came through and were able to, you know, give the camera a workout. So I'm glad that Mother Nature cooperated and that everything went the way it did. So I look forward to using this, not just for viewing wildlife, but like I said, you know, earlier about catching a DNR and stuff like that. I really don't care if the DNR is on my property. I invite them there. I like them because they work with me and they help keep the honest men even more honest. And yeah, so, but it's wonderful for catching any type of movement. If you have problems with trespassers or security, this will help you out with that as well. So thank you so much for tuning in this week on Carl's Off the Grid. Next week, I am going to be helping Shorts cut up some trees that went down at his place. But I'll be back in a couple weeks and we'll have more videos for you. And we're going through mud season right now up at the cabin, so there's not a whole lot that I can do around the cabin right now anyways until that mud dries out. The lake is still covered fully in ice, even though most of the snow is starting to go. But I'm anticipating in the next week or two, hopefully before opening fishing, the water will, the ice will open up and the water will be exposed, and hopefully we can get on the lake for opening day for fishing. But all right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time on Carl's Off the Grid.